Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here, and what I got for you today is a new aircraft that's really neat, actually. I'll show you why it's neat here shortly, but this is the XK Detect XK A430 Edge Extreme Flight. Now look at this airplane. You'll say, yeah, it looks like others that are out there. Well, not quite. This is a full four channel with aileron control, elevator control, rudder control, and throttle control. Okay, people say, so what, but this is a toy grade. Yeah, it's a toy grade, but it's got a powerful brushless motor in here. This little thing really moves. I did a flight with it, first flight with it yesterday. It really does move fast, folks. And it's actually quite maneuverable. And it comes with a little 7.4 volt, I think it's 350 milliampere hour battery. No, I'm wrong. It's 300 milliampere hour, but that's more than sufficient to power this. Additionally, this battery is quite common. It's the same battery it's used on the XK Detect A600 and on the F939, the glider version. Actually, it's 9.5. I'm just getting them confused up because there's so many 9.5, 939, 949. The glider. It's the same battery. So there are other replacement batteries available for this, is what I'm trying to say, folks. But yes, again, now looking at this airplane, there is no dihedral on it. This would be very difficult for a beginner pilot to fly, as there is no automatic stabilization from dihedral effect. You're going to need to balance this yourself if this didn't have something that is quite unusual. Well, it's becoming quite usual now. We're seeing them in a lot more and more aircraft, in that it comes with a 3D 6G auto stabilization system, which means it has gyro stabilization and won't let you go more than a certain amount of pitch or a certain amount of roll to result in a crash. You can still crash it if you just fly it all the way into the ground, but it's hard to make a mistake with this one, is what I'm trying to say. Of course, you can turn that off if you want to do loops. So that's where the 3D portion comes in, loops and rolls. There is still some stabilization in there, mainly from the gyros to prevent wind from tossing you over. Wind is another effect that you're going to have to, if this was a manually flown aircraft, that you're going to have to automatically encounter or manually account for. But since this has gyro stabilization, this will help make it more smoother flight for you in case of being buffeted by wind. So in effect, you have stabilization on this airplane. That should make it much more easy to fly. Let's go over the controller of this. Looking at the controller, it's one of your standard XK controllers that you normally see. They just released them with about all of their aircraft. But this button here, or this stick here, is your throttle, your yaw, your pitch, and your roll, or elevator, aileron, elevator, throttle, and rudder, since we're talking about airplanes now. Since this uses a gyro to stabilize it, you should calibrate your gyros before a flight by putting on a flat level surface, putting the battery in, and while it's sitting there, bringing both sticks down and out like so, and that will calibrate your gyros before the flight. You can use higher rates on your control surfaces, making them pitch farther so you can get more rapid movement of the aircraft by pressing in on this pitch or on this throttle stick here, and that will change to a higher rate. But I prefer, if it's your first time with this aircraft, I prefer, or you should prefer, to keep it in low rate. And again, this starts out with 6G mode, where you have accelerometers and pitch restriction. It won't let you go further than about 15-30 degrees in either pitch or roll to help prevent a crash. But you can turn that off and enter 3D mode by a quick press on the pitch roll stick, and that will enter into 3D mode for doing stunts. Okay, that's about it. Let's fire this up and see how it performs. Hope you enjoy this flight. Okay, to start this up, we got to plug in the battery, of course, and we're doing that now. Now listen, you'll hear the ESCs, electronic speed controller for the brushed motor, or brushless motor. Brushless, folks. Now we put on the top, and it's held in place by these two rare earth magnets on both sides of this. That'll hold it, and it holds it very well, actually. See, just plops into place and holds it. Now we turn on the transmitter. Now notice I'm turning on the transmitter second. Being this is a toy grade, Okay, it automatically binds. It kind of does it in reverse of what professional grade transmitters, where you start the transmitter first and then this, the quadcopter or airplane. Let's check the control surfaces. Notice the rudder and the aileron both go at the same time when in 6G mode. Let's see if it does it in 3D mode. In 3D mode, it's just the ailerons, but in 6G mode, it's automatically compensating with rudder at the same time. Okay, and there goes our checking our elevator control and throttle. And again, remember I said we should balance or calibrate the gyros. I'm going to do that right now, down and out until the propeller moves, I believe. Well, I guess that's it. Okay, we should be good to go. Let's take it to the air. Now, again, this is much different flyer than the other ones I've flown before. This has a lot of power, folks, but let's get it into the air. It's a lot of power and fast. And again, you can turn it just using the aileron control. See how fast that thing is. I'm going to cut back on the power a bit. Now, since this is being run by a brushless motor, it's much more powerful and much more fast than the previous ones that I've been flying. Let's bring it down close so you can see it. Cutting back on the throttle even more. So you got to be careful with this one. This is not as easy to fly as the others, but you know, it's still easy, but you can make errors with it, is what I'm saying. You can crash this. Okay. Pretty neat, huh? I'm in 6G mode. Back to 3D or 6G mode. I was in 3D mode actually. See how it can do tricks? Coming around. See, I almost smacked it into the ground, folks. But I quickly switched back to 6G mode to prevent it. See how that saved me? Again, you got to be quick with that stick on the left. Switching back and forth between 3D and 6G. Now, again, this does not have any warning for you when the battery is getting low. And this is not going to fly as long as the other aircraft that I've been flying, like the Volantex, the brush motor quad or aircraft. And the reason being, this thing is sucking a lot of power out of that particular brushless motor. That's a very powerful motor, and it requires power to run it. And with that in mind, you're going to have much less flight time. So. Did you see that? It went straight up. It has the power to do that, folks. I want to show you that. Is that cool? This is a neat airplane. This is again more for intermediate flyers, not beginners. Intermediate flyers that want to enter into aileron control and more of a stunt flyer that's still somewhat easy to fly. You know, it's not as easy as the others I've been flying. This one requires a little bit of control, but it is a very capable airplane. Actually, XK has a big hit here, I think, with this particular model. Neat, neat, neat. See how sharp it can turn. I mean, including both rudder and aileron. I should keep this up so you can see what I'm doing. Just aileron only. Keep in mind, you know, in that 6G mode, it's automatically applying rudder for you. Neat. Neat airplane, folks. Something you'll be able to do stunts with. This is for those who want a stunt flyer. Now I'm going to fly this. It's starting to get a little sluggish. I should start thinking about landing it now. I'm going to turn it around. Well, I still got a little power. Got to stay in the middle of the field here, though. Yeah, it's starting to get sluggish now. Let's land it without hitting me. Neat airplane. XK A430, folks. This is going to be a hit. Actually, it is going to be a hit. It's a fun flyer, very capable flyer. It comes with replaceable battery, or you can get a replaceable battery for it, and you don't have to worry about burning out the motor, as it's a brushless motor aircraft. You know, just remove this motor and plop it, or remove this battery and plop in another battery, and away you go with it. You know, pretty dang neat. So hope you enjoyed this flight of the 3D6G A430 Extreme Flight Edge. It is an extreme flyer. This is Quadcopter 101. Let me hold it up for its thumbnail. Quadcopter 101, signing out.